Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's talk Madrid. So this is going to be my review for the Madrid match yesterday against Real Oviedo, a newly promoted side. So since I'm feeling that I'm going to talk more about our rival, which is Real Madrid, throughout the progress with this season as well. So we know what's to watch when it comes to our game together, right? So Real Madrid is heading away in just recent match against Real Oviedo, a newly promoted side from Segunda Division, and main players that I've known from there are only two: Solomon Rondon, the striker, the Venezuelan striker, I think, and the legend. Some would call him a legend. Would be Santi Cazorla. But Santi Cazorla start on the bench, but Solomon Rondon starts the match, right? We talk first about the starting lineup for Real Madrid. The Real Madrid starting lineup, there are some different faces, unexpected, but should have been expected because they're playing against a newly promoted side, who I think also lost their first game. Okay, so the first thing would be in goal would be Courtois. Right back, they play Carvajal due to the fact that they're playing promoted side, and he just came back from injury. He's the captain. If he's going to play any game this season, these kind of games will be the game that he will be playing. Rudiger playing ahead of Militao from the first match against Osasuna, which I didn't cover. And then for the other centre back would be Dean Huijsen. Fair, he's been not good even in preseason. The left back would be Alvaro Carreras, the new signing, obviously. And then in the midfield, they play two holding with Tchouaméni and Valverde, and Arda Güler at the number 10 with Bellingham still recovering from his shoulder surgery, right? And we play on the right. We play Franco Mastantuono, the 18-year-old Argentinian that they just bought from, I think, River Plate. And then on the left, they play Rodrigo. Again, if there's any game that he's going to play, unless he like, because he might leave before the end of the window, which is going to be in the next few days, he starts this game. And then at the attack striker position is Kylian. And with the game going on, first of all, I need to inform that why I didn't cover the Australian game, because first I got lazy, and number two, for the reason being that it didn't feel like I had the motivation to do so, because there's no changes at all with Real Madrid. They play exactly the same as how they were last season, no changes whatsoever. It was a boring match as well with just one goal, and then after that, just fully defending Osasuna team. Antibody didn't even get any of the ball, and the last red card was unnecessary. But I'd like to move on just so that we can focus on the Oviedo, because there are small changes. Still same Madrid though. So then I'd say first of all, Madrid wins 3-0, and Mbappe scoring 2 and Vini scoring 1 off the bench. So at the start of the game, I'm seeing Oviedo. They're very comfortable playing. Okay, not comfortable, but confident playing out of the back, instead of like just long ball or going wide. They go through the central play, and then even at the kickoff, because they're the one who start the ball, they tried the kickoff trick where you pass the ball back, and after that you do too many passes in the middle of that circle area, and then you ping it forward, and then they almost passed Courtois if Courtois hadn't went forward to reach for the ball. And then, but at the start, it's just, for me, I think mainly throughout the whole game, it's all been Real Madrid, and Madrid have been comfortable in the defense throughout the match. Kylian Mbappe looked very, very sharper than he's ever been that I've seen him, even in PSG times, and also last season especially. He's very sharp. He's very quick on the ball, like making quick decisions, dribbles, going past the defenders, just very very direct when it comes to his decisions, right? And then the elephant in the room, they're playing with black shorts and black socks, just apparently to the fact that it's gonna be kid clash with Oviedo's white shorts. I don't think that would be the case, because they'll be wearing white shirt and white. So last night it just looked like Germany playing against Italy, part of the football, right? But now, around the 12-minute mark, Rudiger, in my opinion, should have received a penalty, because Madrid should have received a penalty because Rudiger was being pulled in the box by a defender. That's my opinion. Even the VR check, it didn't think there was a foul. No, the referee in real time didn't think it was. I think it should be a foul. And then also another moment in the 15th minute, Masantono, he was also sandwiched. But in this part of the moment, I don't think it should be a penalty, and it wasn't given due to the fact that he was moving and he was going to lose the ball anyway. So because of that, for me, that's the right call, not giving in the penalty. But then after that, 37th minute, Real Madrid scores their first goal with Mbappe after a through ball, very good through ball from Arda Güler. But the two notable things that needs to be talked about with that goal is number one, and this is secondary, would be Kylian's turn. Mbappe's turn, when he made that turn, he did that against Atalanta and a few times last season, even though it wouldn't be a score, but I guess notably it would be Atlanta game where he made that similar turn and then scores from it. This time the turn is very, very sharp that it is scary to watch, right? But then, right before that move, before even Arda Güler got the ball to pass the through ball, to get the through ball to Kylian, Tchouaméni made a very, I'd say at first, rash tackle, right? Because it is rash, jumping straight head on, like studs, going at the back of the defender. But the referee didn't give a foul, and the player didn't even react anyway because he just stood up straight away. And after watching the replay, it's one of the best tackles you've ever seen, because it's clean ball only tackle. The player didn't fall because of the contact. It's because of the momentum that he has, right? So then that's why the player didn't complain. Nobody complained, right? So great tackling, and also Tchouaméni played an amazing game last night. And then after that, also I'm seeing regarding Rodrigo, because Rodrigo is the one who's starting because he probably has an issue with Real Madrid, and also currently with Xabi Alonso. So he's starting, and from what I've seen from him, he's trying to do too much. A lot of the times he's just trying to out dribble someone, trying to beating 3-4 players at the same time, trying to, I guess, do something either to impress the manager, I doubt it, to show the fans that he's still capable, or maybe even to attract clubs, right? But it's doing way too much. But the one thing that's positive about it, which again, to cover the negative, Madrid still has too much players on the left side. A lot of time, Madrid, Kylian Mbappe drifts to the left, and then Rodrigo obviously on the left, right? Now the difference is, whenever Rodrigo sees Kylian drift to the left, he goes into the middle area, in the false nine role. So those switchings are good, at least to cover, to make sure that there's always someone in the middle. And then I'm seeing for Mastantuono, the 18-year-old, he tries to do too much as well. Again, maybe to impress, first game and everything starting, right? The good thing that I've seen from him is his work rate. He was willing to go back into the defense to help Carvajal, and then to press the defenders, right? And a lot of time he got it. Like I can remember 3 instances where it happened. And then there was also a moment in the second half with Huijsen in the 55th minute. Huijsen in the 55th minute, Dean Huijsen, he also pushed a player onto the ground when there was a cross. He wasn't given. VR, I don't know if he checked, but there was nothing given as a pen. In my opinion, it should be a pen, because though some people call it soft because of nowadays game, it should be a penalty, because for the same reason that the ball was in the air, the player was fighting for the ball, and the player got the ball, and Huijsen was behind him, and Huijsen put both his hands onto his back and then pushes it. You can see in the replay that his hands is fully on both of his back, and then straight in his arm, right? So it's a little push, but nothing comes to it. But right, the usual. And then in the 63rd minute, we make 2 changes with Brahim for Mastantuono and Vini for Rodrigo. For Brahim was the obvious change, because I don't think Mastantuono is ready to start yet. But Vini is also obvious as well, because they needed another goal to make sure that it's safe. Because at that moment, around 10 minutes before that change, Oviedo changed the formation from 5-4-1 to 4-4-2, and due to that, they're trying to attack more, and then they created 2 to 3 chances, right? So then uh, after that, we also make another changes. But again, in the 74th minute, they played Gonzalo Garcia, and in place for Guler. And then and then after that, after we played that, because we all thought that, oh, he might replace Mbappe, right? But no. And then in the 79th minute, Vini got a yellow card for not complain this time, not dissent, but he tried to dive to get a penalty for Madrid, and it was so obvious by the referee, Ricardo de Burgos. And if you know the history of last season, especially in the final of the Supercopa de España, that's the referee that the Madrid media, in the Madrid TV, was bashing for his, I guess, mistakes, right? Or inconsistencies for Madrid, and that made him cry and everything. And then it was all controversy and everything, right? And then so I don't want to get into it too much because it's just embarrassing for them to do so. Let the football talk, you know. And then he receives a yellow, right? So then after that, in the 82nd minute, 3 minutes after Vini got the ball, Kylian scores again, but off a through ball from Vini. When Vini scores, Vini presses the defender, I think the DM, defensive midfielder, and then gets a through ball to Mbappe, and then after that scores the goal. And then Vini, he was screaming at the back. There was some calls, maybe he was screaming at the Xabi Alonso for benching him, but I don't think that's the case, because he was smiling, I guess, to show the cameras that he's fine, right, being on the bench, right, because of his poor performance against Osasuna. And then, but then some also say that he might be screaming at the referee for giving that foul, which again, I don't know if it makes sense as well, because that's already passed. No one can complain about yellow card that long, because he received yellow in the what's it called. He receives yellow in the 79th minute, and then after that in the 82nd minute, right? So he had about 3 minutes, and then he gives complains again after a goal. Who does that, right? Maybe Vini does that. But then after that, in the 86th minute, we at my team, Trent came on for Carvajal, because again, he's all, he would actually, a majority of the attack, Oviedo come from the left side. And then after that, Ceballos for Kylian Mbappe, and then moves Gonzalo as a striker, right? And then after that, there was a moment in the 89th minute where Courtois made a great save download on his left-hand side after a low shot from their their attacker. So that shows again that even if you're sleeping the whole game, not doing anything, when you're called upon as a professional, you have to be ready. As a goalkeeper, that's what happens, right? Because before that, none of I can't remember any of instances where Oviedo got a ball on target for that could be a trouble for Courtois. And then after that, in 90th, in around we saw Caldorla around the 70 something minute. We were expecting him to play maybe at least 75th, 80th, but no. Sadly, Caldorla played in the 89th minute, and then after that, because of that, there's nothing that we don't see anything, right? So then we had only 3 minutes extra, so Caldorla only played for 4 minutes. In place for a player called Leander Dendoncker, the DM. That was I remember him playing for Wolves, and he's a Belgian defensive mid. He's actually the only good performing player, in my opinion, in the Oviedo side. But then after that goal, Madrid just continued to attack, and by the end, in the 93rd minute, Vini scores a goal. And then just the basic goal of just slotting in the bottom right corner, right? So then, but it was a very good pass from Brahim on the right side, and then left, I think, by Gonzalo Garcia, and then Vini just goes to the bottom right. So I'd say the scoreline that says that it's a dominant performance by Madrid. The when watching it, it was a dominant performance by Madrid, but Oviedo did well to defend the team, right? To defend their attacks. Even there was one instance where Valverde got into close to the goal, and then just tips it, almost chipping the keeper, but then the keeper saved it near the 6-yard box. So other than that, in my opinion, that Madrid somewhat still plays exactly the same as last season, dominant on the left hand side. The difference I'd say is just less stagnant players. Players are moving more off the ball, a lot more passing than dribbling, unnecessary especially, and again less long balls. That's I'd say the most important thing, because they used to do that a lot, but then because of the current player that's more technically, I guess, advanced, they don't need to do that, right? So then, I'd say there are holes in Madrid's side, especially in the around the right wing side, and between Carvajal and Rudiger's side, because everyone just drifts right because the ball is always on the left side, right? Dino controlling the defense, and Rudiger is the one who's just the muscle, right? And but yeah, it's basically same old Madrid. And for me, man of the match is Mbappe, in my opinion. And their best, Oviedo's best player would be then Donker. And yeah, I'd say that's the takeaway. They're still the same Madrid. It's just less stagnant off the ball. When players are often not having the ball, they're making runs to make space for others, or to make space for themselves to receive the ball, right? It looks like everyone wants the ball instead of just getting rid of the ball as quick as possible, so it's not your mistakes, right? Then the next match would be in 5 days, I think, against Mallorca, but this one is at their home ground, Santiago Bernabeu, and their last matches at home against Mallorca ended in 2 wins and a draw. 2-1 win in La Liga, a 3-0 win in the Supercopa de España. I think it was a semi-final, and then it was a draw 1-1 in La Liga as well. So yeah, other than that, that's the main like my highlights of the games when it comes to review. So I'd say I'll let you know more, and I'll do more of these reviews regarding Arrival, and the second will be called RivalWatch. So other than that, if you enjoy my review, leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And if you have anything else to say and you want to share your thoughts, I'll see you in the comment. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.